to learn more.
The SEC lives here. Powered by Pepsi. WGSX in Haven, Panama City. 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
There's no need to fear.
The Underdogs are here. The Afternoon Underdogs are on the air.
What time is it?
Broadcasting from the Rib Crib Radio Room. Time to let the big dogs eat. 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
Welcome in Northwest Florida. You're listening to the Afternoon Underdogs here in the beautiful Rib Crib Radio Room. Thank you guys for joining us today. I'm David Hayes along with, I was about to say Boston Tim, but it's not Boston Tim. No Boston Tim today. We got him out of here. We don't need no extra help for the Patriots this coming weekend in the NFL playoffs. I've got Barrett Townsend, Adam Goff on the board with me. What a great day to be here in the Rib Crib Radio Room. Lots of stuff to talk about, and we're playing trivia today. So the trivia question is, which NFL player was known as the comeback kid? That's brought to you by Merchant Management Group. If you're a business owner, take a minute, check how much you spent on credit card processing fees in 2021. If you'd like to eliminate those fees in 2022, give our friends over at Merchant Management Group a call, 850-747-0664. They're located right here in downtown Panama City, and they will get you taken care of. Let's look at Dallas Cowboys wide receiver Amari Cooper headed into the playoffs, and my man's just been fined $14,650 for a COVID-19 violation at a Mavericks game. This is after this guy missed 2 games. I mean, yeah, he comes from Alabama, but let's just keep it real. You missed 2 games, right?
Right.
Big-time games for your Dallas Cowboys. After the finale against the Eagles, you say, hey, if isolation is what's needed for us to field a full, healthy team in the playoffs, and that's what it's going to be. Well, you go to the Cotton Bowl, and you're seen with Trayvon Diggs, which Trayvon Diggs vaccinated. He doesn't have to wear a mask, but the NFL, if you're not vaccinated, you've got to wear a mask, and you can't be around 10 or more people. You have to be in a skybox at that point.
I think he was around a little bit more than 10 people.
He was courtside at the Mavericks game, and like I said, he was also at the Cotton Bowl where Alabama was taking on Cincinnati. He was there with Trayvon Diggs. He was at the Mavericks game with CeeDee Lamb. Come on, man.
Rocking his shades courtside.
Hey, at least he wasn't acting like Kodak Black was. Did y'all see that?
Dude. All right, so I had a hockey guy on, Andrew Weiss with a hockey writer, and I said, well, speaking of Kodak moments, it doesn't really hit the same anymore, but, dude, that was a crazy situation, but in my opinion, nothing wrong was going on there, and
They were having a good time.
They were having a good time, and I think that is great exposure for the NHL, especially right there down in Sunrise, Florida, South Florida.
You're definitely hitting a different demographic.
Yeah. Exactly. So I thought I didn't find anything wrong with that. People like to blow up over anything. With this situation, though, with your team being on the cusp of not on the cusp of the playoffs, you're in the playoffs.
Yep.
Get in a skybox, man. Don't tell me you can't. Well, I guess I don't know what would be more expensive, courtside tickets or a skybox. I guess that would be pretty comparable, but you got the money regardless.
I was about to say, they probably just got some free VIP tickets knowing them.
Right,
Yeah,
but
exactly.
I mean, we've had these discussions over the last couple decades, especially as a Bengals fan, right? I mean, all the players that go out there and they end up with DUIs, right? You have Henry Ruggs with Las Vegas this year.
Yeah.
Now his teammates turned around and got another one this past week.
And Geno Smith, how about Geno Smith?
Right.
DUI.
Right.
And he was going 95 miles an hour.
Like these teams have people waiting by their phones for them to come get them. There's Ubers. There's call a limo. It's not like you can't afford it, right? But just because somebody is given an opportunity to do something doesn't mean they're always going to make the right choice.
Right.
And-
Even with
and
all of the things that they're
Even with
available.
everything that's riding on this. And it's very, if I'm a Cowboys fan, I'm very disheartened by this.
Well, my biggest problem. Go ahead, Barrett.
I feel like this is kind of like the Odell Beckham situation. When they had a wild card game, one was about 5 or 6 years ago. They ended up going down to South Beach, going on the boat. All the wide receivers. I mean, I'm not saying that all the wide receivers went down to South Beach, but he's kind of taking advantage of this whole being able to go around places, not being vaccinated, and having the playoffs coming up. I feel like it's kind of a shot at his own team.
Well, and it might be because the biggest thing for me is not that he's doing these things. It's merely that you said what you said, after the final game of the season against the Eagles about
Sure.
Isolation, but you missed 2 games. You cost your team possibly 2 wins because of not being vaccinated, and let's not even say that, because you weren't able to play the game. And yeah, you're going to be able to play this game, but you're $14,000 short of what you could have had you just watched the game from the house or followed the rules, wore a mask, and got into a skybox. Neither here nor there. The rules and all that stuff isn't what I'm complaining about. It's more that you missed 2 games already from this,
Right.
and you're putting it at chance again.
Right, and imagine the Cowboys playing in the NFC West, and he misses those 2 games, and it costs them those 2 games. They're out of the playoffs.
Yeah, because they're not a division
in
winner
the
there.
division.
Right, because they're not going to win that division, and more than likely, based on their record against everybody else, they're probably not going to get a wild card.
Right.
So for him to actually go through and do all this, but I mean, we've seen it with CeeDee Lamb all year. That dude has more fines than I think anybody in the league right now,
All because of
and it's not because of playing;
No.
it's
Tucking
because
in
of
his jersey.
he's tucking his jersey, or he's got different socks on, and it's an undisciplined behavior that if I'm Mike McCarthy, you've got to put a stop to that.
Yeah.
I don't think he has any control. It's not.
Well, then
his-
Jerry
it's not
Jones.
his team.
If Jerry Jones doesn't have control over it, then he's got to.
Jerry Jones is about one thing.
Oh, it's
He wants that Super Bowl,
Yeah.
and he'll do whatever it takes to get that Super
That's
Bowl.
letting CD have a little bit longer of a leash, or Amari
Sure.
Cooper, but he wasn't very happy when reports came out about the whole Amari Cooper situation either, though. So that's also something to kind of keep in mind. Miami Heat's Bam Adebayo targets Monday return after a 6-week absence, so joining the likes of Klay Thompson with his return, which is
How did you guys watch that game?
the Bucks and the Warriors game.
Well, that game, of course, that one wasn't much of a game after the first 2
Right.
quarters, but just Klay Thompson returning against Cleveland
I
on
did.
Sunday.
So being in a new house, I don't have any internet or cable right now. So everything
he's
that
off the grid.
I'm literally off the grid. Like, we just got our trash service set up and everything. So it's been like trying to figure a lot of things out. But anyways, it makes it a little tougher to actually tune into games, because anything that I do, I have to hook my phone up to the TV, and then at that point, anybody calls me, then I gotta get up and go
Right.
get it. So it's just been an annoying process. So I just try to come in and read as much as I can. But no, tell me what you took away from that return, man. I love Klay Thompson.
Listen, Klay Thompson, I'm a Lakers fan, so just watching Golden State, I don't dislike Golden State whatsoever. I love Steph Curry. I love Draymond Green. Klay Thompson is my favorite player in the NBA right now.
Yeah.
Over anybody. And to see him not play for the last 2.5 years, it sucked. It really honestly sucked. Having him come back, not just being a Klay Thompson coming back off of an torn Achilles, he looked like the old Klay Thompson.
And that is
he
exciting.
was yakking on folks.
Well, he didn't look like old Klay
Well,
Thompson.
that's true,
He
too.
looked like the original Klay Thompson, which
That's-
is, and again, like I was shocked by how many minutes he actually played in that game.
Yeah.
And he looked good doing it. Are we going to get the Klay Thompson that was there before? I don't know. I hope so. But I mean, even if we get 80% of that, that's still
think
pretty darn
The
good.
biggest thing I took from that game, he had no fear whatsoever.
Yeah.
He went straight into the lane. He was dunking on people. His first shot was a floater right in the lane. So he has no fear over any type of injury. He's just out there, and you could feel his emotion. You really could. Just watching him, going crazy with the fans, telling everybody that he's back. It was awesome seeing him back.
And then Bam coming back to a Miami Heat team that's
Yeah.
riding pretty high right now. So, I mean, I think they're still without Jimmy Butler as well.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you start making additions to that team, and look out Chicago Bulls.
Look out Chicago
Look
Bulls,
out
who
Chicago
really
Bulls.
just got absolutely decimated by the Brooklyn Nets, which, I mean, anytime that you get all three of those guys in Harden, Irving, and Durant, and not only when they're on the floor, but when they're clicking,
Yep.
it is really hard to stop. Even if one of them has an off night, there's still two of them that you have to account for. Let's look at some of these injuries here. Now, we've been talking about how little of a shot that the Eagles actually do have over the Buccaneers, but if any of these players missing could possibly generate some buzz for the Eagles to maybe stick within the 8.5. Cyril Grayson, who's become really like the number 2 receiver for Tom over the last 2 weeks, he's going to be out. You're also going to be missing Ronald Jones, so you got to hope for Leonard Fournette to come back, which there is that possibility. But on the flip side, what's getting stronger for him, though, what's going to make it harder for the Eagles, JPP coming back, and there's also Levante David, but he's right in the same kind of boat as Leonard Fournette, where
Right.
it's questionable, but more than likely, all signs are pointing.
I was going to say, both of them
Pierre
practice
Paul,
all
yeah.
week, and they just have to activate them off the IR. I would be very, very shocked if Lingy didn't play. Levant, I could see maybe not playing just because it is the Eagles, and they're going to need him for the actual full playoff run. But the Eagles, I mean, they can run the ball, and I know we've got the number 3 ranked run defense, but here the last like 5 or 6 weeks, it's been tough to watch. So having Shaq back, having JPP back, it'll help a lot.
Shaq's the big one. I mean, Levante David, don't get me wrong, but having Shaq there as well is huge because that Philadelphia run game is legit. And it's no matter who they put in there, you know, whether it's Jordan Howard of all people.
Right.
Boston Scott has had incredible games. Miles Sanders, when he's healthy,
he's gonna be playing,
is
so,
legitimate as a number 1 back in this league. And his problem is he just can't ever stay on the field. Gainwell's had a good rookie year. So that run attack is great. So I know we're going to be getting into X factors and things like that moving down the line in the show. So I don't want to jump ahead too far.
Oh yeah, no doubt about it, man. When we in the next segment, we're going to be getting a little bit of our thoughts on the Georgia and Alabama game, since it kind of, you know, it happened last Monday, but it's Friday.
It's still
and
fresh.
Yeah, it's still fresh.
It's
It is
fresh
the
for a
national
lot of
title.
Georgia fans.
And it will
Yo,
be.
man.
I think, you know, I honestly think that it could be 3 years really before Georgia fans do wind down about this, unless they get, which is a very real possibility, another one in between. But this one just meant so much more. Alabama could have won that game, and yeah, it would have been back-to-back, right? And that would have been super sweet. And they could have won by 100 points, and it would have meant nothing compared to what that game on Monday night meant to Georgia fans. So we'll jump into that here in the next segment, as well as expectations for our own teams for next year. I've got some prop bets that really are in the ESPN playoff prop bet, or not, it's the ESPN playoff pick'em, and they throw some prop bets in there. So so we'll go pick some of those. Defend your stance. We've got our Friday 5 at 5, which is going to be college basketball games again, because we'll be making all of the NFL playoff picks at 5:30. And then at 5:15, we'll have our X factors for each team. We'll wrap the show up with some local sports scores. And don't forget about this weekend, starting off at 3 o'clock tomorrow, Las Vegas and the Cincinnati Bengals.
Hooday.
That is going to be a fun game, followed by the New England Patriots and the Buffalo Bills, also another good one. And it's just going to keep on rolling Sunday, starting it off with the Eagles and the Buccaneers, and we'll end off Sunday night with the Steelers and the Chiefs. And Monday night, we'll come in, we'll do a show, and then we'll take you over to the pregame at 6:30 for the Rams and the Cardinals. What a game.
What a Monday night game.
Dude.
What a first ever Monday night playoff game to be in Los Angeles. You can't write that at all. That's a script that just you take to the movies and it goes.
So, speaking of that Rams-Cardinals game, Matthew Stafford says that the toe is okay, but he also follows that up with he's not feeling pressure to win the first playoff game. Can you go this long without winning a playoff game? Some people saying, you know, one of the top quarterbacks in the league, and still not feel a pressure when, if you were playing with Detroit, maybe there's not any pressure.
None.
But you're playing with the Rams. They took a chance on you.
Yeah.
Y'all won the division. There's got to be some pressure.
I honestly believe him. I don't think there's any pressure on him at all. The pressure is on the ownership and Sean McVay. They're the ones that made the moves to go get him. You know, Stafford would have played in Detroit this season if he hadn't gotten traded. Of course, somebody other than the Rams probably would have come up, but the Rams came through. And, I mean, if y'all remember correctly, it came out of nowhere. It was like, holy crap, look what the Rams are offering here. And Detroit jumped at it. You know, Stafford, if this was his 4th year in the league, 5th year, I'd say, yeah, there's probably some pressure just because of his immaturity. But he's been in the league long enough, and he's been through the ringer. Trust me, he's been in Detroit. He's been through the ringer. I don't think he has any pressure on him.
Well, I'll tell you what, they lose that game, there's going to be a lot of pressure on him afterwards. So.
I feel the complete opposite. I mean, I feel like Detroit, I 100% agree. There's no pressure at Detroit. Detroit, you making the playoffs, that's like a Super Bowl to Detroit. You're making the playoffs. Los Angeles, the team that had Jared Goff take them to the Super Bowl, and everyone thinks they are one quarterback away from the championship, and they traded all these draft assets to get Matthew Stafford. He has to deliver. And if he doesn't deliver, then there's going to be a lot of question marks coming on.
This one right here is from my Lightning fans. We've got a whole bunch of NFL playoff picks or playoff talk coming up. your way after we get done with some college football in the next segment. But Steven Stamkos, in my opinion, was snubbed from the All-Star game last night. 6th in the league in points with 45 points, but he wasn't among the 11 players selected to represent the Atlantic Division for All-Star Weekend in Vegas, February 4th and the 5th. He can still possibly get in with the last man in process that the NHL does, basically like the fan vote. In the Lightning did get Victor Hedman and Andrei Vasilevsky in, all absolutely deserving players there. Stamkos, though, 6 All-Star games that he's made with the Tampa Bay Lightning. That ties Martin St. Louis for the most in Lightning history. So he's got a good shot at being voted in. One player is going to be selected from each division, and his competition in the Atlantic Division is Boston defenseman Charlie McAvoy, Buffalo's Tage Thompson, Detroit's forward Lucas Raymond, Florida forward Sasha Barkov, Montreal forward Tyler Toffoli, and Ottawa forward Brady Tkachuk, and Toronto forward John Tavares. So could get in. Voting's going to be going through 10:59 our time on NHL.com. You're listening to the Afternoon Underdogs right here on 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida. We're just getting rocking and rolling. Stick with us. We'll be right back.
Is it?
My weather forecast overnight, scattered clouds, 45 to 52 across much of the listening area, and light east winds. A 50-60% coverage of showers over the weekend, partly to mostly cloudy Saturday and Sunday. It'll be near 70 Saturday, cooler weather on Sunday, in the mid-50s, rather breezy over the course of the weekend. This weather forecast has been brought to you by All About Garage Doors, your garage door repair specialist. For 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida, I'm meteorologist Tim Root.
104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida. It's the Coach James Hale Show, weekday mornings 7 till 9 on your station for the best local sports talk.
And we love college football. You and I, we love it. Everybody loves college football.
Yes.
And I used to coach in college football. It was the greatest thing in the world. These boosters now are going to have more power than they've ever had. But now with a name like an image, they want to win. And if you don't win big, they're going to get rid of you.
ESPN Northwest Florida.
At Slim Chickens, craft means something. Craft means bacon. And oh, so crispy. Craft means a good cayenne kick. And all-natural buttermilk marinated, made fresh, perfectly fried chicken. All served on toasted brioche buns. At Slim Chickens, craft means quality. And for a limited time, try our new Memphis-style barbecue chicken sandwich. Try Slim's Craft sandwiches today. Slim Chickens.
Golf Plus is your premier golf shop on the Gulf Coast. Not a big box or a chain store, but a local store with golf experts to serve you. An amazing array of demo and fitting products, plus a professional repair shop that can handle anything from a basic re-grip to a full set of re-shafts and everything in between. Golf Plus has locations in Dothan and Panama City Beach to serve you. Come see them today for all your golf needs. Located next to Firefly at the shops at Edgewater. Call 850-249-2726.
ESPN Northwest Florida are proud members of the Panama City Beach Chamber. We'd like to welcome the newest members to the Beach Chamber.
Exchange at the Beach, Fortis PM, Hawkstone Cyber, LLC, Keller Williams Success Realty, Elaine Giddens, No Doubt Systems, Sombreros Bar and Grill, LLC, Toastmaster, Panama City, and Wolf Water Sports, LLC, Hydrofly, PCB.
Congratulations from the area's only sports radio station, ESPN Northwest Florida.
Broadcasting from the Rib Crib Radio Room. You're riding shotgun with the Afternoon Underdogs. We're going to need some gas money. The Afternoon Underdogs.
Fill her up, please.
At 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
We are back inside of the Rib Crib Radio Room, and we've got the Grand Slam of Cash right here back on 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida. We're going to help you pay your Christmas bills Monday, January 10th through Friday, February 28th. You got to listen weekdays at 8:45 and 4:45 for the code word. Enter the code word that you hear on ESPNPC.com/contest or on the 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida app. We'll have 2 weekly winners of $1,000 each.
Cha-ching.
So, Barrett, your buddy Tyler Bishop,
Oh,
our
boy.
buddy Tyler Bishop, you know what? Isn't it fitting that on the year that Georgia wins the national championship, he's going to have to spend 24 hours in Waffle House, or is he going to buy out?
I don't even think he cares. I think he's just going to go to the Waffle House, wear his national championship shirt, eat about, I would probably say he's a small guy, so probably about 5 or 6 waffles, and then just soak in it. He'll probably watch the national championship the whole time.
That's what I was going to say. Would he do that? And then my other question is, can someone go in there and donate a waffle for him? Like, if I wanted to go in there and eat a waffle for him, is that a possibility?
No.
All right, good, because I wasn't going to do that anyways.
You can go
I was
in
just
there
trying to
and
be
you
a
can
nice
eat
guy.
a couple waffles with him.
Yeah,
you know,
but
make
it won't
him feel
count
a little
for
bit
him.
good. Nope. It'll just be sentimental for him, so he's not in there by himself. I know me and Jordan are going to go in there for a few waffles just so we can say that we were with him.
I got to at least get one in, man.
Yeah.
That was a fun league.
It came down to the last play of the last Monday Night Football.
Yep.
Sunday Night Football.
Sunday Night Football, yeah.
With that Rams and Cardinals game. And it was, that chat is always crazy to begin with, but that chat was nonstop for about 4.5 hours.
Yeah.
Even after the game.
Dude, very fun league. I'm glad for the opportunity that I had to be able to play with you guys. Definitely will be doing it. I was very close. I was the closest to the waffles for the majority of the year, if we could put it that way. Finally climbed out of the doghouse.
The last 3 wins really helped you out. So.
And no doubt about it. Let's get into the thoughts on the national championship game with Alabama and Georgia. What did you take away from the game, Barrett?
Injuries. I hate it. I mean, you hate a national championship game to be talked about injuries.
Yeah.
But the reality is Bama was down not only the number 1 receiver, they were down the number 2 wide receiver.
I'm not paying him to say this, y'all.
So, as a FSU fan, but a fan of just schools winning it that don't win it that often, I was happy. I was thrilled that a quarterback in Stetson Bennett would go against a 5-star quarterback, a Heisman-winning quarterback, and he held his own.
Yeah, he did.
They go down. They're down 5 points, right?
Mm-hmm.
Go down. Everyone's thinking it's already over right there. He hits 4 passes back to back to back, gets sacked, draws the defense off sides, and throws an absolute dot to the corner of the end zone. It was beautiful. It was awesome to see a quarterback like that. And you just see it. It meant so much to not only him as a quarterback. You can see him crying on the sideline, but just Georgia fans in general. Tyler is one of the biggest Georgia fans that I know. And I know that he was at that championship game, and he was shedding tears.
Oh, yeah. Him
1,000%. So,
what did you take away from it, Adam?
Stetson Bennett obviously is, I think, the biggest storyline. I mean, I know Kirby Smart, getting over that hump and beating Nick Saban, especially on that stage after getting basically handled a month before that, was big. But, if you follow along with, all the talking heads and, like I was during the game, like on Twitter and things like that, everybody in the first half was just bagging on Stetson Bennett out. Alabama's in his head. They're in his head. He's not going to be able to do this. Look how many oh crap moments, other than we're seeing crap moments Stetson Bennett was having in the first half. And then, of course, that fumble.
Yeah, that was,
right?
I mean, it was pretty
that
much
fumble,
all the way through 3 quarters that he was getting all of that heat.
Right, that fumble in the fourth quarter. And then right after that, it was like a switch flipped. And him being able to throw that 2nd and 16 touchdown and just put Georgia right back in that. I think that was the play right there. I know it was a touchdown, but that play right there kind of catapulted them and gave them that confidence that they needed to overtake a really, really good Alabama team. And it was a shame to see Jameson Williams go down the way he did. Seeing that knee pop like it did on TV was brutal.
I didn't even
have a stadium to play.
But, and give Bryce Young all the credit in the world. I mean, that dude had very, very little weapons out there, which is weird to say for an Alabama team.
Yeah.
But, that kid gave it his all, and he had pressure in his face all night.
He did. And there was a couple drop passes that would have changed that game, I think, for Alabama. They had about 3 drop passes, a couple of them by that little number 84 that was just dropped right into his
DJ Hall,
hands.
I believe his name was. I didn't even really hear his name until that game.
I didn't either. So he dropped a couple that was just dropped right into his hands and went right through it. So
that's the thing, though. Injuries are a part of football, so it could have happened the vice versa way. Zeus could have went down. Pickens they were without most of the year. Brock Bowers could have went down. I mean, there's all of those things, but I think the credit really goes to Stetson Bennett, like you said, just to stick in, because you could almost count Stetson Bennett as an injury for Georgia. You know what I mean? If you compare the quarterback for Alabama to the quarterback of Georgia, but who got the W?
Right.
And you can't sit here and say that Georgia fans went into that game absolutely loving Stetson.
Right.
I'm telling you, after that game, they're going to worship Stetson for the rest
Oh,
of
he's
his
going to have a
life.
statue.
It
It'll be like a 3-foot statue, but it'll be a statue.
Kirby's saying, come on back.
I've
Right.
never seen more Georgia fans hate their quarterback more than they do, and it just flipped within one quarter. After that, he's Georgia's new god. So
Georgia's new god.
It
Well,
was good to see for them.
speaking of Georgia's other god, Zeus,
Whoosh.
Zamir White, the
Man.
running back, he's going to be joining James Cook declaring for the NFL draft.
Baby
He
Cook.
overcame 2 knee injuries and a whole bunch of health problems as a child. 856 yards, 11 touchdowns this last season. He's from Laurinburg, North Carolina, ranks 15th in school history with 2,043 rushing yards, led the Bulldogs in back-to-back seasons in rushing. Georgia's going to have 3 running backs in 2022 that ran for at least 200 yards in Kenny McIntosh, Kendall Milton, and Dawan Edwards. What do you guys think about White and James Cook headed to the draft? Are they really viable prospects? I believe Cook is because of he can catch
He's
the ball
elusive.
and he can run
Yes.
and he's elusive. I'm not sold on Zamir White, but then after that national championship game, maybe he could be a product in the NFL. And we're seeing, but look, if there was ever a year that team needed extra running backs, it was last year. So maybe that trend continues.
I feel like Cook could be a really good player in the NFL, depending on what team he goes. Let's say he went to like Kansas City in the 3rd or 4th round. You don't think Kansas City is going to be able to use him? Zamir, it wouldn't shock me, honestly, if he just didn't even get drafted. I feel like he might be an undrafted kind of rookie free agent that might get picked up. His knee injuries as a running back, your shelf life's already so small, and to have 2 major knee injuries, it's not going to look good for him, I think.
Oregon's running back Travis Dye, coming off of a 1,200-yard season, is entering the transfer portal. So he doesn't want to play with Georgia's old coach or defensive coordinator and Dan Lanning. I'm excited to watch one of their first matchups. I believe that's who Georgia opens up the season with is Oregon. So that's going to be a premier matchup. And the Alabama's non-conference schedule, they're going to be opening up with Utah State, which finished the year 24th in the final AP poll.
They were very respectable.
Yeah, not too shabby. And they've got Texas as well early on. So let's get into expectations for your team in 2022. Barrett's team is the Florida State Seminoles. Barrett, what are you looking at? What are you expecting? What would make you content with what record would make you content for the Florida State Seminoles in 2022?
I just want to start the season with a win. You know how long it's been since FSU started the season with an actual win?
Probably the year before they played Alabama to open the season up.
Ole Miss. That was the last time the FSU had an opening win.
That's 16?
Yep, 2016. So at this time, it'll be 6 seasons since the last time we started 1-0.
Man.
To be honest, I'd be just happy with getting a bowl game. I would be happy with about 7 wins, about 5 losses. But that's what I'm going to be happy with.
Yeah.
I feel like we have the potential to win the ACC. I feel like Clemson's on the down. I feel like the quarterback was way overrated, including me. I thought he was going to be one of the Heisman winners, or one of the Heisman finalists, I apologize, and he was far from that. I know a lot of people are complaining about the recruiting class. We got 5 wins, and we ended up with a top 10 recruiting class.
Yeah, that's impressive.
Everything's going to be sour because of what Travis Hunter did, and I was one of the sour people. I understand you got to go where the money is, and he went where the money was.
But he's also playing for like a premier cornerback in the league, and that he's a defensive back. He's not going to be playing wide receiver at the college level. He's going to be playing cornerback. So, I mean, there is that connections, but there is also the connections of money with the Barstool thing. I mean, I totally get that, but I don't know. At the end of the day, one player is not going to make or break that program. You know what I mean? Like, if Jameis Winston didn't have – Dalvin Cook was his running back, right?
No. We had Devontae Freeman.
It was Devontae Freeman. Okay, never mind. Cook was
he was with Winston,
Francois.
but he was with
DeAndre
he was a
Francois.
true freshman. So he made it to the playoffs. He was the one that fumbled twice in the playoffs.
Okay, but all right. So, well, like Jameis Winston, as big as what he was for the Florida State program,
I don't think we win a championship.
Yeah,
without Jameis.
that's what I was.
That's
that's
not
why I was
a good
backtracking. That's not a good.
He's
one.
reaching.
Yeah, I mean, the
I'm
backup
reaching for
did
sure.
win a national championship.
Yeah,
but he won a
Coker.
championship for Alabama.
No doubt.
And not doing very much for them.
Exactly.
Except for
Very Very
championship
true.
game. He actually looked pretty good in the championship game.
Adam,
so.
what's your expectations for your Louisville Cardinals in 2022?
Man, it's hard to make heads or tails of this team. I mean, they have a lot coming back. They had 69 freshmen at the end of the season. Now, we have had some, big defections in the transfer portal. Excuse me.
The new college free agency.
Right. And it's, but we are getting some talent back in the transfer portal. Our secondary is going to be a little iffy. Catrell Clark is coming off an injury as well, which he was a huge, huge player, especially in ACC play before he got injured. But, we've got Malik Cunningham coming back. The schedule is favorable. Florida State's coming to Louisville. Yep. We have to go to Clemson. The non-conference, I think it's UCF, USF, and then James Madison, and then obviously Kentucky at the end of the year. Yeah. And of course we play Virginia as our opposite, in the other division. But the schedule is favorable because NC State's coming to Louisville this year. I would hope 9-3. Yeah. But it wouldn't shock me if they were 3-9.
Yeah.
Just because the way they, the way they played last year, especially in the fourth quarter, they were tiring in the fourth quarter almost every single game, and there was nothing they could do. Now I'm hoping that level of play is going to be over because we're going to be deeper next year, but we'll see. Scott Satterfield just brought on another defensive coordinator to help out Brian Brown. So hopefully that's going to help things. And they just got a new strength and conditioning coach. So hopefully in the fourth quarter, they've solved some of those issues with the defense, because that's where it was mainly happening, was on the defensive side.
That was one thing I was excited about. We weren't deep at all, but we made a lot of fourth quarter comebacks.
Yeah.
A lot of fourth quarter.
You almost came back on Louisville.
We almost came back.
I think that's kind of where the season started to turn back around for Florida State.
Oh, it absolutely was.
Because that game against Notre Dame, in all reality, should have won. And if they win that game against Notre Dame, then those next two games probably don't become. I'm saying that kick.
We don't need. I know. I'm saying we don't need to talk about that.
Okay, no. I feel that the expectations for Alabama remain the same for at least until Nick Saban's gone.
National title,
SEC championship, national title. I don't want to say it like that from my perspective. From every other Alabama fan in the world, it's probably national title or bust.
For Alabama
fans. We were talking about that the other day in the group chat, where it's almost like they expect it, and if they don't get it, they get all riled up about it. And for me, it's just like, dude, you've got to respect what's going on here. And then especially you do account for the injuries when you talk about the grand scheme of things, not a particular game, but the things that Nick Saban had to deal with and get going. Yeah, absolutely. But the expectations remain the same. National title, SEC championship, that's what we want to see. You're listening to the Afternoon Underdogs on 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida. We're going to come back, do some playoff prop bets.
Let's do it.
Let's get her done. We'll be right back.
ESPN Northwest Florida.
Colin Cowherd.
This isn't the Browns or the Lions that go through coaches every 3 or 4 years. The Giants are successful. They've even when they're great, they're never exciting. They're the accounting firm of the NFL, but this is a good franchise. They were going to Super Bowls. So this isn't your typical franchise in terms of merry-go-round of coaches.
This is The Herd.
Weekdays 11 to 2, ESPN, Northwest Florida.
Discover Kia in 2022 at Bill Burr Kia, your local community dealer. Let your New Year adventures begin in a new Kia. Stop by and test drive any of our all-wheel drive Kias and gear up for winter. Now offering 1.9% APR for up to 60 months on a new 2022 Kia K5, Seltos, Sorrentos, or Telluride. Bill Burr Kia is not only the home of the 20-year, 200,000-mile warranty, they're the home of the best customer experience anywhere. Stop by and see us at 2435 East 15th Street or anytime at BillBirdKia.com. We make buying a car easy, and you'll enjoy the way we do business.
Offer from KMF for the purchase of a new 2022 K5, Seltos, Sorrento, or Telluride with $17.48 per 1,000 financed in 60 months. Quantities limited. No down payment required. Cannot be combined with other finance offers. The 20-year, 200,000-mile warranty is a Bill Burr Kia warranty. See dealer for complete details. Offer for well-qualified buyers. Must take delivery from dealer stock through 1/31/22.
Have you ever thought about flying an airplane? It's not as difficult as you may think. Simply call Island Air Express. They are a family-oriented flight school who cares about the student pilot progression and more of a one-on-one flight training school. Island Air Express can help you celebrate your birthday by taking you on a birthday flight. Let Island Air Express show you the world from a different view by taking you and your family across beautiful Panama City Beach. Call Island Air Express at 850-814-6407 or visit their website at islandairexpress.com.
For the best donuts in the area, the locals will tell you. Dandy Donuts and Deli. The donuts are amazing, but the breakfast and lunch choices are super. Cheese grits for breakfast are a tradition at Dandy Donuts and Deli. Try the spicy chicken for lunch. So, for classic donuts, biscuits, burgers, and the best apple fritters in the area, it's Dandy Donuts and Deli. Same location since 1985. 1147 Harrison Avenue, across from Bay High School.
When you want a big-time sports show, tune in for the Afternoon Underdogs.
I'm going to send you up against the best.
Weekdays from 4 till 6.
Negative, Ghost Rider?
Broadcasting from the Rib Crib Radio Room.
The need for speed.
On 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
We are still playing trivia right here on 850, right here on 850 too, on 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida, getting a little dyslexia.
Technically, we are in the 850.
We are in the 850, right?
850 so you're not wrong.
And so you can use that area code, 850-215-6290, and let's play some trivia. The question for today is, which NFL player was known as the comeback kid? Very easy softball. If you're a business owner, take a minute, check out how much you spent on credit card processing fees in 2021. If you want to eliminate those fees in 2022, give our friends over at Merchant Management Group a call, 850-747-0664. They're located right here in downtown Panama City. They'll get you taken care of. Tell them that you heard about that you heard about them right here on 104.3 from David Hayes. And I'm telling you, they'll give you a free consultation and they'll look at a way to knock out your credit card processing fees. And we've got some testimonies. It really does work, and it's a free consultation. So if it doesn't work out for you, guess what? You just wasted a little bit of time. Time is money, but you were trying to save some of that time and money as well. Let's get in some playoff prop bets.
Do it.
Who records more passing yards in this game? Derek Carr or Joe Burrow? Let's start it off with the Bengals fan himself over there. What you got?
I didn't know Bengals fans actually existed. So it's just like very
we
odd to
are
actually meet
here.
one.
We are here.
Are you
We're
here
just not
just
like
this
Steelers
year,
fans
or-
waving those annoying yellow towels. Now, granted, we haven't had a whole lot to celebrate here in the last 20, 30 years, but we do still exist.
Awesome.
Now, as far as who throws, for more yards in this game, honestly, I think it's going to be Derek Carr because the Bengals are going to have to. I think the Bengals are going to start out and put the screws to him and make Josh Jacobs obsolete like they did the last game. And Derek Carr's going to have to throw for more yards. I don't think Burrow's going to have to throw the ball very much at all with the way Mixon was running this year, especially against the Raiders early in the season. So give me Derek Carr on that one.
What you got, Barrett?
Man, I got Mr. Joe Burrow. I think he's going to have the more passing yards. I actually think this is actually going to be the closest game of the weekend. And I just think Joe Burrow, with his weapons, he's going to dump it off a lot to Joe Mixon. But he is going to throw the ball, I would say, about 45 times this game.
Oh,
we throw it 45, we're losing.
I feel like you guys are going to throw the ball 45 times. And
we're not talking about wins and losses.
Yeah,
right
I know.
All right, so we've got a Joe Burrow, we've got a Derek Carr, 45 times, man.
45 times.
I'm in agreement with what Adam did say. I'm going to say more passing yards, and I'm going to have to go in and change my picks on the ESPN Pick'em. I'm going to go with I'm going to keep it the same. Burrow's going to throw for more yards, and that's not looking good for what we think is going to happen. Most touchdowns in the wild card round, will it be Jamar Chase, Stephon Diggs, Josh Jacobs, or Damian Harris? Barrett, what do you think?
Well, I'm just going to kind of go with my first prop. I think Joe Burrow is going to throw it all over the field, so his number one target is Jamar Chase. So I'm going to go with Chase. He's going to be doing the giddy all night.
There we
I'm sorry, all afternoon.
Afternoon, right.
I'm down. Don't get me wrong here. I am all for it. Give me the show. I'm down. As long as we win the game, I really, really could care less what happens in there as long as we win. I haven't had a playoff win in like 30 years. Just give me a win.
I feel like if the Bengals win, Adam needs to come on here and do the giddy on Fan Friday.
You gonna do it?
You're gonna have to show me how to do it, Barrett.
Haven't you seen Chase
I mean, I've
do it
seen
enough?
him do it, but like, I mean, come on.
He needs a step-by-step process.
Right.
I can do that for you.
I would too, man. I'm really expecting that game in New England to just be absolutely terrifying, and so let's go with Damian Harris for this one because he's going to have to run the ball a lot. Hopefully, he can stay healthy. If not, it's going to be a heavy dose of Ramondre Stevenson. Yeah. Will Josh Allen record 250 or more passing yards and 50 or more rushing yards? Yes or no? Adam, what you think?
No. He probably gets the rushing yards just because of how the weather's going to be. And to answer the previous question, I'm going with Harris on that one as well.
Oh, you are going? Okay.
Yeah, so I'll go Harris on that one. I'm with you. He might get the 250-plus passing yards, but I'm telling you, there's going to be some broken fingers in that cold. Yeah, give me – I don't think he gets 250 and 50.
What you got, Barrett?
I feel like yes. I mean, I feel like he is not only the whole passing offense, but the whole rushing offense too. So I feel like 250 and 50, he can pretty much get that in his sleep. So I'm going to go with yes.
I'm going to say no. I'm going to say it's going to be rather close, though, 175, 205, somewhere in that area. And he'll definitely be over the rushing yards. I think that if the weather is what we're thinking it's going to be hard to throw for 250 yards. But if the wind isn't as bad as that first matchup in Buffalo, then we could be looking at well over 250 passing yards and 50 rushing yards. So you're on a no as well. Oh yeah, you already answered. You already said no. Yeah, no doubt about it. All right, over or under. This one should be very easy for Barrett. So we'll start with him. Over or under 2.5 passing touchdowns by the greatest, Tom Brady.
Oh, man. I wish Old School was here. He would love to answer this question. Definitely over. I feel like he's going to have a pretty easy, simple game against the Eagles' pass defense, so I'm going to go over.
You and I are going to agree for once on these. I think he does go over.
I need to go ahead and change my pick real quick.
The question marks with Leonard Fournette and then obviously no Ronald Jones. What do you get out of Vaughn? Brady is going to have to throw the ball, and I think Philly's advantage on the run game is definitely going to make Tom Brady have to do some things quickly. So
2 overs and an under, and I'm only saying it right now because of what we got from Chris Amberly yesterday on the show, where he said it's looking like it's going to be a monsoon down there, 100% chance of rain.
Well, right now it went down to 40.
Okay,
and it's about
we know
15 to 20. It's Florida.
Exactly.
It can change on the hour.
It could be 40% now, 60% tomorrow, and by game time it could be looking
85 degrees, perfect football day.
Exactly. And if it's like that, if it's a beautiful day in South Florida for Tampa,
it's going to be bad for Philly.
Oh, it's going to be an ugly day for Philly and their fans. They're going to be throwing double birds up everywhere. Let's go to most receiving yards for the wild card round. Will it be Mike Evans, CeeDee Lamb, Deebo Samuel, or Devontae Smith? Whoa. I'll start off with this one. Let me get, for most receiving yards, Dak Prescott is going to have to find CeeDee Lamb a lot. So for most receiving yards, if it was touchdowns, I'd probably be leaning another way. But I'm going to go with CeeDee Lamb.
Give me Deebo in this one. I think Deebo is such an integral part of their offense, not only receiving but also running the ball. Now, granted, I understand this is receiving yards only.
You're right.
But
if it's all-purpose
yards, right. But I think I'm still going to go with Deebo on this one.
What you got, Barrett?
I'm with David, man. I think Evans will have a good game, mostly touchdowns, though. If it was total yards, definitely Deebo. Devontae, I don't think they're going to be throwing the ball very much against us. So, yeah, I think CD will get about almost 150 yards this game. I don't think they'll be going too much to Cooper this game.
49ers Cowboys, one of the most intriguing games to a lot of just plain NFL fans, not ones of specific teams, but people who've been following the NFL for a long time have been yearning for this matchup.
26 years since their last playoff appearance.
26 years. Hey, where's Professor Plum at, man? I haven't seen a text from him in a couple of days. Professor Plum, give me a shout-out. Let me know you're doing okay. So will the 49ers Cowboys be tied at any point during the fourth quarter? I'm going to say, because I'm hoping for a good game, I'll say yes.
I'm going to say no. I think one team, and we'll get to it later on, but I think one team is going to actually decimate the other in this game.
Ooh, all right.
Decimate. Yeah, actually, I think it'll be a tie. I think this is going to be a bad game for one of the teams. for a game winner. So I'm going to say it's going to be tied in the fourth quarter.
All right, let's get into it, man. I'm so stoked for that game, and I don't even know what it is. Let's go to more receptions. These two playing against each other, Steelers and the Chiefs. Will it be Deontay Johnson or Travis Kelsey? Just receptions, not yards here. What do you got, Adam?
Give me Deontay Johnson in this one just because he's going to be needed more.
Yeah.
What you got, Barrett?
I'm going to go Kelsey. Juju might take a few targets from Johnson. I think this game will be over pretty quickly, probably about the halftime.
Is Juju back?
Juju is back. He's been practicing all this week.
That's news to me.
Yeah, Juju he won't be playing until the AFC Championship or the Super
I thought they
Bowl.
said that he could play this week.
I mean, there's that chance, but it's looking more like the AFC Championship where he'll actually be healthy. But he is practicing. He is 100% practices, and we know how that works. So sometimes, we'll say AFC Championship to kind of throw him off our trail, and then here he is Sunday playing in the wild card round. So it could happen. And if he's in the game, maybe that would affect his Deontay Johnson's targets or receptions a little bit, but he hasn't played since October?
Right.
So I don't know, but I'm still gonna go with Travis Kelsey regardless, whichever way it goes. Clyde Edwards-Hilaire's not playing in this game, which they've got a lot of good carries, a lot of good productivity. Out of Darrell Williams. So we'll see about it.
That's going to be a big loss to them. They can just kind of replace one.
Exactly. But I still think that Mahomes is going to keep rolling with his tight end.
Yeah.
Let's get to most passing touchdowns in the wild card round. Will it be Patrick Mahomes, Kyler Murray, Matthew Stafford, or Big Ben? If anybody picks Big Ben and it happens, I'm throwing them $20.
Dang, let me go ahead and make
all right, should I just do it just because? I mean, I'm losing nothing here.
Yeah, this is an all or nothing bet.
On this one, I'm going to go Stafford.
Ooh, that's a good pick.
I don't see the person that's actually going to have the most touchdowns for whatever reason. I don't see
Is that Joe
Brady.
Burrow?
Oh, it could be Joe Burrow. No, I got that's really tough. But I actually do think Stafford will have the most touchdowns out of these four.
That's so crazy. We have to agree because I think Kyler Murray, one or two of those are going to be rushing touchdowns, right? Same way with Patrick Mahomes, or maybe Patrick Mahomes.
I think Patrick will be done by the third quarter.
Exactly. That's where I'm at with it too.
And Big Ben,
man,
if you throw 2 touchdowns this weekend,
that'd be 2 more touchdowns than I expect you to throw.
Exactly. All right, the final one. This one's going to be straightforward. Cooper Kupp, over or under 99.5 reception yards. Will he have 100 or no? That's what it comes down to. Over or under. I'm going to go with he's been doing it all year. Why would he stop now? Give me the over.
Give me the over in this one.
Yeah, you can't go wrong with the best receiver in the game right now, so definitely got to go over.
Still looking for a winner for trivia.
Someone call in and get
850 215-6290. You're listening to the Afternoon Underdogs. We're going to take a short break. When we get back, it's time to defend your stance.
Let's do it.
My weather forecast overnight, scattered clouds, 45 to 52 across much of the listening area, and light east winds. A 50-60% coverage of showers over the weekend, partly to mostly cloudy Saturday and Sunday. It'll be near 70 Saturday, cooler weather on Sunday, in the mid-50s, rather breezy over the course of the weekend. This weather forecast has been brought to you by Mid-South Lumber, best little lumber yard in Panama City and Youngstown. For 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida, I'm meteorologist Tim Root.
104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida. Right now is your chance to win in the Grand Slam of Cash. Your code word is
Santa.
Enter the code word at ESPNPC.com or play on the ESPN Northwest Florida app. 2 ways to play this national contest.
$1,000 in cash.
104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
Highland Finance, helping you prepare for life. IRS takes your money, stock market risks your money, and inflation reduces the buying power. At Highland Finance, we believe you should feel confident in your future. Our proven track record helps our clients prepare for life. Call 850-359-5989.
Hi folks, it's Tracy with Tracy's Fine Jewelry.
Did you know that we have a master jeweler right here in the store? That's right, he has over 30 years experience in the art of repairing jewelry. Most repairs are done within 2 business days, so don't send your jewelry off for 6 weeks. Bring it to us at Tracy's Fine Jewelry. We size rings and solder chains. We can reset your diamond into new settings and even custom design. You'll get your jewelry back quickly and looking as good as new. Tracy's Fine Jewelry, Bay County's trusted jeweler for over 45 years.
Hi, this is Coach James Hale, here to tell you about the best car wash on the beach. Blue Sky Express Car Wash. Number one, they're locally owned. You know Matt and his employees will do a great job. Number two, Blue Sky Car Wash recycles their water. Number three, they have the latest technology available. It does an incredible job on your vehicle. Blue Sky Express Car Wash on Back Beach Road is right near Home Depot. Tell them Coach Hill sent you.
Highland Finance, helping you prepare for life. The profit your business brings in should go to you, not accidents, injuries, and hurricanes. Do a policy review on your general liability and workers' comp today. Our proven track record helps our clients prepare for life. Call 850-359-5989. Highland Finance.
Damsel in Defense presents Defend Your Stance. Got an opinion? Time to defend it. It's the Afternoon Underdogs on 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
And we are back. You're listening to the Afternoon Underdogs. We're right here on 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida in the amazing Rib Crib Radio Room. The Grand Slam of Cash back on 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida. A chance for you to pay your Christmas bills. From Monday, January 10th until Friday, February 28th, you've got to listen weekdays at 8:45 a.m., 4:45 p.m. for the code word. Take the code word, enter it at espnpc.com/contest or on the 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida app. We'll have 2 weekly winners of $1,000 each. Let's get into some Defend Your Stance. Let's start off
We've got somebody on the line, by the way.
Oh, yeah. Let's go ahead. Let's get to the phone line and play a little trivia. 850-215-6290. Thanks so much for the call. Who's on the air with us? Corey?
What's up? It's me, man. How you guys doing today?
Hey, man. Good. Fantastic. Another Friday, heading into a fantastic weekend of NFL playoffs. What's going on with you, man?
Oh, well, I don't appreciate all the slander on the Steelers, but I think if you're only from Pittsburgh, you think we have a chance, but it's going to be a great weekend. Who doesn't love football?
Does Pittsburgh people still think they have a chance?
Absolutely. I know everyone was ragging on the terrible towel, but mine will be swinging. The volume will be up. I'm ready. You know, you always got to think your team has a chance.
Dude, I agree 1,000%, and it shouldn't be any other way. When we get to talking about the Eagles and the Buccaneers, the Eagles fans come back at us like, hey, man, we do have a chance, and I believe it, and you better believe it too. It's just one of those things where we're at right now where with the injuries and kind of the style of play, the tree status of Big Ben, it makes it kind of hard to believe it, but if you believe it, we can conceive it.
Hey, man, I believe in the Easter Bunny and Santa Claus, too.
As long as Ray McLeod doesn't have like 25 catches, I think we'll be okay.
That's when you know you're in trouble.
I'm ready for it. So the trivia question, Corey, is which NFL player was known as the comeback kid?
Well, if I'm not mistaken, it would be Western Pennsylvania's own Ringgold High School alum, Joe Montana.
My man, I love the way that you answered that question. Hey, do me a favor, Corey, and shoot me a text over to 850-215-6290, and we will take care of you.
All right, brother. I appreciate it. You guys have a good night.
Hey, you do the same, man. Corey, I don't go ahead and drop. Yeah, I don't know if I've ever met that guy before or if he's came to pick up a prize package, but I do know one thing. Corey, when you shoot that text over, we need to set him up for a Fan Friday because you can already tell he knows what he's talking about, and I love the love that he has for his Pittsburgh Steelers, man. I wonder.
You got to bring in that table towel.
Yeah. Oh, dude, that would.
Have you ever been to a game against the Steelers when they all, because they travel really well? I give them that.
I've been to Tampa, the Monday
they
night game.
are absolutely like infectious in the most wrong way possible.
We played them on Monday night about 3 seasons ago when we had Ryan Fitzpatrick as our quarterback, and it was about 80% Pittsburgh fans, 20% Tampa fans.
It's crazy. Professor Plum got on here and he said, I just got in my car and I hear my name. Hello, David and Friday crew. Shout out to TNG, man. Get well soon, old school.
Yeah, no doubt. Old school. Y'all keep him in your thoughts and prayers. He should be back with us Monday, just a little bit under the weather. Under the weather.
Man, you're talking like me now.
Yeah, definitely. Corey, though, we definitely need to set you up for a Fan Friday, man. I'm stoked about that. Best chance for an upset in the wild card round. This one's kind of been thrown out a lot, but I love this question because it can go so many ways. So let's start with you, Barrett. What you got?
Some people would think it's an upset. I honestly don't think it's upset, but I'm going to go with what everyone thinks is upset. The 49ers is going to beat the Cowboys. And that stadium is going to be probably about 75% San Francisco fans, 25% Dallas fans. That stadium does not fill up with the home fans. And I feel like with Deebo Samuels, with George Kittle, I feel like them running the ball, I feel like it'll be a close game, and I feel like San Francisco will win. So that'll be my upset.
What you got, Adam?
I mean, yeah, that's the obvious one, right? Yeah. I mean, not to, take away from your take there, but, if I'm choosing to just be different, give me Philadelphia over Tampa.
So Adam says the Raiders. I love that.
Yeah, yeah.
That's what I heard. The Raiders,
I'm ready to see. I hope,
First game of the
if it is chalk in the AFC and the Bengals have to go to Nashville, that's like the most optimal thing outside of Pittsburgh beating. Pittsburgh having to go to Nashville and then we have to play somebody else because I think that's the only really way it happens. But
watch us get Pittsburgh versus Cincinnati, and that's when we can get Goy on for Fan Friday.
Oh, the AFC Championship. You know what? I would be 100% okay with that because we've played them pretty well this year.
Yeah,
dude,
that'd be fun.
That would be really good.
It wouldn't be fun for fans because no one really likes watching Pittsburgh at this point in time. But
no, but watch what I tell you. If they do, because it's still football and the craziest season that I don't want to say ever, but that I've been around for. This has got to be one of the craziest seasons that I've been around for on this earth. Yeah. And why would that not carry on into the playoffs? It's not like all of a sudden God's going to be like, nope, only the better teams are going to win now.
Right.
No, we got a wild
like that for
ride.
the majority of the season. So
if I have one though, it's going to be. I mean, there's a bunch of them. I feel like the underdogs could really win the weekend. I want to go with the Patriots, though. One being their coach, and two, if this game is resemblant of the game that they played in Buffalo before with all of the elements and all of the weather, I not only do I trust Coach Bill to have a better game plan for Josh Allen and the gang to neutralize his legs and his arm, but I also believe in Ramondre Stevenson and a healthy, at this point, Damian Harris. They've proven that Mac Jones doesn't have to sling the ball around the field for them to win. In fact, I don't think that that's been proven at all this year, that Mac Jones can sling the ball all around the field in order to win. That's not his style, and it's never really been Bill's style either.
Right.
No, I can see it.
Yeah, no, and you make really good points there. And that game right there, I'm glad it's the night game on Saturday because I think that game is going to be, while maybe not high scoring, I think it's going to be wildly entertaining just to see them combat not only each other but the elements.
They don't like each other. No, one bit. You could tell from both games, especially that last game when Buffalo was celebrating all over, they do not like each other whatsoever.
Let's do best wide receiving core in the playoffs right now. Adam, you said this question was easy, so.
Houday, right? Houday. I mean, tell me a better trio of wide receivers out there in the game right now. You've got Jamar Chase, he's second-team All-Pro as a rookie, 1,400-something yards. Tyler Boyd was just on the cusp of getting 1,000 yards. Yeah. And then you've got T. Higgins, who is today's Chad Johnson. I mean, just watching that kid go across the middle and on the edge, and he can beat you deep. Burrow has a plethora of weapons, and he utilizes them very well.
What you got on this one, Barrett?
Definitely Pittsburgh Steelers. I'm just kidding.
You like us now, Corey?
Man, I mean, I can't argue with him. I mean, Cincinnati's got great, but I don't feel like they have the best overall. I think Dallas does. Ooh, I think CeeDee Lamb is an amazing wide receiver. I think Amari Cooper is an amazing wide receiver. And yes, they did lose Gallup, but that C.D. Wilson is fast and he's elusive. And I would pick Kansas City if you could give me the loop of Travis Kelsey.
Yes, I was about to head that
wide
way.
receiver, but since it's just Tyreek Hill and then a bunch of kind of unknowns, unless you're a fan of football, you gotta go with Dallas.
So this one I was struggling with. I wanted to throw that loop in there, right, and try to get Travis Kelsey as a wide receiver for the Kansas City Chiefs. And I hate what I'm about to say, but I can make the argument because of how good Cooper Kupp is.
Yeah.
That core with OBJ coming on strong now or later in the season, and then Van Jefferson. Because really, when you look at the Bengals, if you take Jamar Chase away, how strong is that core then? You know what I mean? Because one of those guys in Tyler Boyd or T. Higgins has to step up and be that number one guy. And yeah, T. Higgins could, or either way, Tyler Boyd. But I'm just wondering with how hot Cooper is right now, that they got to be the guys. You're listening to the Afternoon Underdogs on 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida. We're going to take a short break. We'll be right back. Stick with us.
ESPN Northwest Florida.
The Super Wildcard round of the NFL playoffs kicks off with a special Saturday doubleheader. Hi, this is Scott Graham. Join me and the rest of our Westwood One crew for all the action. First, the Las Vegas Raiders take on the Cincinnati Bengals. Then it's an AFC East rivalry when the Patriots head to Buffalo to face the Bills. From the wildcard round all the way to Super Bowl 56 in Los Angeles, the NFL playoffs are right here.
Coverage begins Saturday at 3:35.
ESPN Northwest Florida.
That Cajun place in football. Two words that just go together.
There's nothing better than watching sports at that Cajun place. 60-cent wings and $5 pitchers during all live game. College football all day. Sundays at that Cajun place, NFL all day. Plus music from North Shore Jazz Band. Sunday brunch for 10-10 too. That Cajun place, 5801 Thomas Drive.
Come on to DCP and watch out for banana sweet tea. That Cajun place in football. Two words that just go together.
Safety is important, not just for you, but also for your family. Emerald Coast AMSL specializes in women's and children's safety and self-protection. They offer a variety of products from stun guns, striking tools, pepper sprays, including GPS-enabled sprays, personal alarms, safety whistles, and more. Give the gift of self-protection and contact Michelle and Rick today, 850-358-2810, or visit their website at emeraldcoastdamsel.com. Independent Damsel Pro for damsel in defense.
So, how's the new job?
Love it, but it's not just a job, it's a career.
Life insurance? Love?
I told you Woodman Life is really active in the community, right? They support all kinds of community improvement projects. How's your job, by the way?
Don't ask.
You can love what you do, too. Call me, Lance Myers, your Panama City area Woodman Life recruiting sales manager at 850-769-9212 to learn more.
Woodman of the World Life Insurance Society of Omaha, Nebraska. Woodman Life, standing strong for generations.
Time to let the big dogs eat. Powered by Pepsi. WGSX Lynn Haven, Panama City. 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
Dr. Chad Mitchell, orthopedic surgeon, specializing in sports medicine and joint replacement of the knee, shoulder, and hip. He serves our local athletes and our community. Southern Orthopedic Specialist has been the leader in orthopedic care for over 20 years. New patients are welcome. Call 850-769-KNEE to schedule an appointment. More about Dr. Mitchell and Southern Orthopedic Specialist is available on their website, southernorthopedic.com. Southern Orthopedic, getting you back in the game.
Live from the Rib Crib Studio. They said it couldn't be done. The Afternoon Underdogs are live.
They say it can't be done. Are we going to do what they say can't be done?
104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
Let's get it. Afternoon Underdogs, Hour 2, right here on 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida. We're in the Rib Crib radio room. Me and Boston Tim had some good games on tap last night. Wisconsin, number 3, Wisconsin took down Ohio State 78-68.
Go Badgers.
They were over 140 points. Iowa takes down Indiana 83-74, and they were over 150 and a
G-Man
half.
crying.
Sorry, G-Man. Can't win. Can't beat the Jags and can't beat Iowa.
Oh, you know he's about to be headed in here now. Well, he's going to be in Fort Walton instead of driving all the way, and he's going to be like, I need a flight in a helicopter to the ESPN studio. Stat.
He knows where I live.
How about Gonzaga just absolutely decimating BYU last night, 110-84. They were also over the 151 and a half.
Just by a little.
We had the Jets and Detroit, Winnipeg Jets, Detroit Red Wings. Jets get the win there, 3-0. They were under the over-under of 5.5 goals. And then Milwaukee, we talked about this earlier, were all over. Especially at one point, wasn't it like 80-something to 40-something?
Yeah, that score
it was brutal.
not that close.
No.
Like, that was probably the closest it was since the first quarter. So.
Do y'all think Steph Curry is starting to lose a little momentum in the MVP race?
Yes. I don't even think he's a top 3 MVP.
Ooh, here we go.
I still think you got Giannis, KD, and then everyone just doesn't even talk about him, even though he just won the MVP. Joker's still pitting up amazing stats for Denver. So I don't know why people are just saying, we'll just throw him to the side just because he won the MVP. But, yeah, I feel like he's below top 3 right now.
Yeah, but it's a long season. There's still a long way to go.
And thank goodness for it, because once football season, we need it.
Now that the Splash Brothers are reunited, it's not like you're taking Klay Thompson away from what Curry's done so far this season. Right. You're adding him to it. So it's only going to make Steph Curry better.
It's gonna be a while, though. I think it's going to take – it honestly might take about 10 to 15 games just to see maybe MVP Steph come back, because he's going to try to get Klay his touches, get Klay his points, get him under and get him ready for the playoffs.
That's such a great point. Let's get into our picks for this weekend, because they're all college basketball games, and they are tomorrow on the website that I was using. I did not find any spreads for these games, so we're just going to be picking them. Most of them are all really good games.
Yeah.
They're all conference games, and we'll start off in the SEC with number 23, Tennessee, and number 18, Kentucky. Let's start off with Adam Goff.
Give me Tennessee in this one. They're playing good ball. Kentucky's at home, and that's usually a really, really tough place to play. But Rupp Arena hasn't been packed out here lately. Yeah. And, we're seeing it all over college basketball. So I don't think it's going to be as hostile an environment. So give me Tennessee in this one.
All right, Barrett, what you think?
I'm opposite, man. I don't think Tennessee's been playing well at all here these last couple of weeks. Losing a couple of really blowout ones, especially against LSU. So I'm going to go Kentucky.
I think I'm going to agree with that there, Barrett, because
oh man,
BT.
He's saying my last name.
I'm LA, so now you're BT. How about that?
But that's Boston Tim.
Right.
So same way,
he usually just calls me B. So
yeah,
there you go.
All right, well, B, I agree with you. Kentucky's got to get it going at some point in time, and what other better way to get it done than against a rival in Tennessee in Rupp Arena? Let's go to the Big 12. We've got number 21, Texas, who I believe took down Oklahoma this week, and they're going to be visiting Iowa State. Barrett, where you at?
I'm going to do it for my good friend, Old School. Hook 'em horns.
There we go. I'm going to go horns down. Iowa State been playing some good basketball this year. Let me get the Cyclones.
Yeah, they're in Ames. It's they've been doing really, really well. They just beat Kansas last week. So give me Iowa State in this one.
All right, this is a good one for B here. We'll start it off with myself, and we'll end up with Barrett. Florida State, Syracuse. I gotta go with the hometown squad here, man. Let me use a page out of Old School's book. Where do I live? Florida. I'm going FSU.
Yeah, give me FSU in this one as well. I think they've won 3 in a row. In the ACC, and they're starting to click. And their big man rotation is formidable down low. And if they can hit their shots on the outside, then they could be that same dangerous team we saw with Scotty Barnes and all them. So
yeah, I'm 1,000%. He said everything that I wanted to say, and just a quick little thing. We did beat Miami just a couple of nights ago, so that was an awesome victory too. So definitely go FSU.
Yeah, I love it, man. That's one where we need a sounder of a broom where it's like
sweep
it out of there. And then we need another one when someone's on an island that's like the Island Boy song or whatever.
Island Boy.
Yeah, that one right there. All right, let's go to the Big 12. Oklahoma at TCU. Adam, which way you're leaning for this game?
Give me Oklahoma in this one.
Barrett?
Horned Frogs.
Ooh, I like that one because I'm going that way too, man. I think TCU at the house, both of their records are pretty. I think
they're pretty similar.
Yeah, they're very similar. So I'm going to take the Horned Frogs here. And then last but not least, I'll start this one out. Alabama at Mississippi State. Alabama, I don't think has won in the year of 2022. So they need one pretty bad.
They're
especially,
due.
Yeah, they're due. And it wasn't a terrible loss to Auburn, but coming off of the night before you lose the national championship, you're at the house against your rival in Auburn and you don't get it done. That hurt, man. What you got, Adam?
I think Alabama gets it done. So I don't see them losing there to Mississippi State. So give me the Roll Tide.
What you got, Barry?
If not now, win for Alabama. So I'm gonna go Alabama.
That's a good point. A little on this day in 1976, Ted Turner becomes the CEO of the Atlanta Braves.
See, that worked out pretty dang good for him.
It did.
Yeah.
It worked out all right. And in 2020, Boston Red Sox manager Alex Cora is fired, and Major League Baseball's investigation into cheating, aka sign stealing, by the Houston Astros. Cora was previously the Astros bench coach before moving to Boston. Now let's get into some start bench cut. I took the privilege of organizing these quarterbacks from the playoffs into start bench cut modes, and it's extremely difficult. So let's start with the hardest one, and Patrick Mahomes, Tom Brady, and Aaron Rodgers. If you so dare, start bench cut. And let's start with
Now, we doing this like for the whole playoffs, or just for just say this week who I think has the best matchup, who I think I would bench, and who I would cut?
Is this for your organization or this current game? Is what he's asking, I guess.
Well, Aaron Rodgers doesn't have a game this week, so.
Oh.
But
okay.
let's pretend that he did have a game.
For the playoffs,
yeah,
then?
just
okay.
for the playoffs.
I would start Brady. You can't go against Tom Brady in the playoffs ever. I would bench Patrick Mahomes. And Rodgers has proven time after time after time, unless he goes against the Bears in the NFC Championship against Caleb Haney, he's not getting to the Super Bowl. So I would cut Aaron Rodgers.
Adam.
Dude, this is legitimately one of the toughest things I think you've ever asked me on this show.
It was pretty easy for me.
Well, obviously, but I mean, I don't have a dog in the fight here, right? So for me, I think you start Aaron Rodgers. I think you bench Mahomes, and I think you cut Brady.
Ooh, I'm about to have to.
I mean,
Now, when I said Joe Burrow would have 400 yards, I meant to say he would have 4 interceptions.
Caveman Rick just agreed with me on Facebook, by the way.
All right, I love it.
You're wrong.
Caveman Rick, hope you and Michelle are doing just fine today. Don't forget, I don't know if we said it or not, but Defend Your Stance was brought to you by Emerald Coast Damsel, Independent Damsel Pro for Damsel in Defense. They will not be in Pensacola this weekend. They will be in Jacksonville next weekend. I pity the fool who doesn't use our tools. So back to the start bench cut of Tom Brady. I was just trying to relieve myself of actually having to answer this.
Hey, going back to our previous segment, Professor Plum just texted in and said the Steelers over the Chiefs is his upset call.
I love it. I love it.
So you're going to give him $20 if it happens?
No, but if I'll give him $20 if Big Ben throws more touchdowns than the other.
I think
three
he already started
quarterbacks.
some margaritas going on over there.
I used to hate Tom Brady with such a passion, but like a lot of people have hated Nick Saban with a passion. I think after Monday they've started to like come around and be like, oh, he's got some human. There's a human element to Nick Saban, and they're starting to kind of like him. Well, that's what the whole world has already done with Tom Brady since he's been in Tampa Bay. Let me start Tom Brady.
Good choice.
Let me bench.
Don't do it.
I got to bench Aaron Rodgers because of just how well he's playing, even despite injury, despite missing a week to COVID. I got to go AR or A-Rod, and then I'll cut Mahomes, but, any given Sunday, Mahomes. Give me any one of these guys. Give me either one of these. Let's go over to Josh Allen, Dak Prescott, Derek Carr.
This is real easy.
Yeah, I feel like this one is a little easier, but my answer might surprise you. Yeah. I'm going to start Josh Allen because he's got the most upside here with his mobility, right? Yep. Then I'm actually going to go Derek Carr.
Yeah.
Because he's got less weapons and is doing a lot over there. And then I'm going to cut Prescott, even though this year I don't want to say taking a liking to Prescott, but he's not worth the $40 million per se, but Jerry thought he was, and he got it done. So, but I still got to cut Prescott. Where are you guys at with it?
For me, on this one here, I think you start Dak Prescott. I think you bench Allen, and then I think you cut Derek Carr. The Raiders offense, I think they average about 20 points a game this season, and that alone right there shows me. I mean, don't get me wrong, he's had a phenomenal year, especially with what he's had to put up with in that organization. Yeah. But I got to cut him here.
I think we're all three going to kind of go in separate ways. I'm going to start Josh Allen. I think Josh Allen is an elite quarterback out of these three people. He's the only elite quarterback out of these three. I would bench Dak. I think Dak is still ahead of Derek Carr in just about every metric when it comes to playing quarterback. And I'm with that. I mean, the offense, yes, they got to the playoffs. Yes, he doesn't have the best weapons in the world, but he still didn't get much done with the weapons he had. So I would cut Derek Carr and
All
bench.
right. One more here for this segment before we got to get out of here. We've got Joe Burrow, we've got Kyler Murray, and we've got Matt Stafford. Two of these quarterbacks are playing up against each other. I'll take the liberty and go first here. And this is crazy because I got a lot of love for Matt Stafford, but I'll just start with the bottom of the barrel. You're getting cut, Matt, because Kyler Murray's got more upside to you. But I'm starting the kid, man, Joe Burrow, whatever nickname y'all got for him up there. Joey B.
Macaulay Culkin.
Yeah, that's a good one, Mr. Home Alone himself. Let me start Joe Burrow. I'll have to bench Amari, and then I'll cut Matt Stafford. Bye-bye, John. What you guys got?
Obviously, I'm going to start Joe Burrow. I think I'm going to bench Stafford, and I'm going to cut Kyler Murray.
Now, he said he was going to cut Tom Brady, right?
Yeah, he did.
Oh, man.
So Burrow's getting cut. Let's hear
Burrow,
them scissors.
here we go. You know,
chopping block.
Nah, I speak nothing but facts on the show. And Joe Burrow is elite. He is an elite quarterback. He is going to do special things this Saturday.
It's Saturday, tomorrow.
I am with David. I think Murray has more upside than Stafford, especially with the leg ability. So I would bench Murray. See you, Stafford. You're about to lose another playoff game.
You've been listening to, or you are listening to the Afternoon Underdogs, 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida. We're going to take a quick timeout, pay a couple of bills. When we get back, X Factor for every NFL playoff team.
That's going to be fun.
My weather forecast overnight, scattered clouds, 45 to 52 across much of the listening area, and light east winds. A 50-60% coverage of showers over the weekend, partly to mostly cloudy Saturday and Sunday. It'll be near 70 Saturday, cooler weather on Sunday, in the mid-50s, rather breezy over the course of the weekend. This weather forecast has been brought to you by All About Garage Doors, your garage door repair specialist. For 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida, I'm meteorologist Tim Root.
It's here. The 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida app version 2.0. Now featuring ultra high fidelity. You'll feel like you're in the game. Plus more opportunities to win weekly prizes from local businesses when you click it to win it. Download the 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida app today at Google Play or the Apple Store.
The original J. Michael's Restaurant on Thomas Drive, Panama City Beach, serving Bay County and visitors from the U.S., Canada, and around the world since 1976. A little Southern, a little Creole, and a lot of hospitality. Come enjoy J. Michael's Seafood Platter, red beans and rice, the best gumbo on the beach, and the world-famous spaghetti night on Wednesdays. 3210 Thomas Drive, J. Michael's Restaurant.
Golf Plus is your premier golf shop on the Gulf Coast. Not a big box or a chain store, but a local store with golf experts to serve you. An amazing array of demo and fitting products, plus a professional repair shop that can handle anything from a basic re-grip to a full set of re-shafts and everything in between. Golf Plus has locations in Dothan and Panama City Beach to serve you. Come see them today for all your golf needs. Located next to Firefly at the shops at Edgewater. Call 850-249-2726.
Signworks, a business serving businesses since 1985. Everything from signs and banners, vehicles and boats, magnetic and real estate signs, contractor signs, and much more. Signworks can do large format, full color printing too. Signworks, a real professional in the business world. Call Signworks at 785-8899. Signworks, 850-785-8899.
The #1 SEC call-in show is now twice as big. It's double the Paul Feinbaum Show. Weeknights starting at 6.
Okay, but also go faster.
Now back to the Afternoon Underdogs. Live from the Rib Crib Studio. 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
Just listen to it, man. Night at the Roxbury takes me back every single time.
This is what Philly's going to be singing after we demolish them.
You are now in the Rib Crib Radio Room. You're listening to 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida. It's the second hour of the Afternoon Underdogs. I'm David Hayes. Got Barrett Townsend, Adam Goff. So glad to have these guys in here with me on a Friday, or else you guys would be having the David Hayes edition of a Paul Feinbaum type show saying, hey, please call me so we can talk about things. Nah, I'm just kidding. But we do got Caveman Rick, who's normally on the cameras with us on Friday. He's on the line. What up, Caveman?
How you guys doing? Just chilling at the house, trying to take care of Michelle and trying to make sure I'll be all right.
Well, stay safe, brother.
Stay safe, buddy.
Let's get into some X factors for the wild card weekend. We can still have ones for the Titans and the Packers, but we'll go over those at the very end because their X factor should be who can get the healthiest from their injury. Right. You know what I mean? Let's start it off with the Chiefs, though. I'll kick this one off. I like Travis Kelsey and Tyreek Hill. They got to be the X factors in this game, right? Receptions have to go their way. Even when it's Byron Pringle, it doesn't work out how Patrick Mahomes wants it to, as much as Mahomes should be the X factor.
Yeah, he's the third in the progression, right?
It's got to go to those two guys. I toss it off to whoever's next.
It's pretty simple for Kansas City. I mean, you would think you could just call Patrick Mahomes the X factor, Kelsey a Hill. I'm going to go a little bit deeper. I don't think Clyde's going to be playing much of these playoffs, and I think Dale Williams is going to be a big X factor in a lot of these games. He's going to play the Dale Williams and probably get about 4 or 5 touchdowns in this postseason.
Ooh,
yeah,
that's my X factor.
It is a good take. I'm going to go with just simply Tyreek Hill on this one, just because if you see Kansas City in their losses this season, he hasn't been a factor, and when he is a factor, they win. Whether it's the defense is doing what they can to take him away from the offense, or if he's just simply not getting targets. But when he's getting targets and he's getting the ball in his hands, he's definitely making a difference.
Okay, man, Rick, what's your X factor for the Kansas City Chiefs?
Mine's going to be the Kansas City defense. They're going to have to keep doing what they've been doing. Obviously, the offense is probably going to put up points. That shouldn't be a problem. But we know Pittsburgh's probably going to go all out for Big Ben, being that this will probably be his last game. A little side note, I believe Pittsburgh, the last time Kansas City lost a playoff game at home was against Pittsburgh, even though I think that was like 5 or 6 years ago. But, defense of Kansas City got to step up, have to keep doing what they've been doing, and that'll be a difference.
All right. Barrett, give me your X factor for the Buffalo Bills.
You could pick a bunch of different players. I'm going to go outside the box again. I'm going to pick Gabriel Davis. I think a lot of the defenses is going to go Stephon Diggs' way. A lot of the defense is going to be shadowing Josh Allen. I feel like Gabriel Davis will be the X factor and the reason that I feel like Buffalo's going to make it to the Super Bowl.
I love it. So Bills Bucks for the Super Bowl.
I said it at the beginning of the year, correct?
Yes, you did.
I have not went away from
That's a fact. Adam, where you at?
For the Bills, I think it's Devin Singletary, the way he's been running the ball the last couple weeks. Buffalo hasn't really been hitting on all cylinders offensively, but he's been phenomenal. And in this weather that they're going to be facing coming up tomorrow night, I think he's going to play a huge role, because if he's able to run the ball effectively, then Josh Allen's going to have even more ability to do what he needs to do.
I like it.
Caveman Rick, let me get an X factor for the Buffalo Bills.
I'm right there with Adam. I couldn't agree more with basically what he said. Singletary was my answer, but on top of that, basically, somebody in the offense has to step up. Josh Allen can't be the only guy that the offense is just, making things happen. Somebody else definitely has to be a star other than him, or they're not going to win.
I'm going with Devin Singletary as my X factor too, because they're going to have to put the ball on the ground unless it's another case like Philadelphia and Tampa Bay and the weather's not as bad as what we were expecting it to be. But we need a big ground game. Let's go back to Adam for the X factor for the Bengals.
You're going to be shocked when I say this, because it's not the usual suspects, but it's Jesse Bates.
Oh, I love him. Such an underrated safety.
One of the best safeties in the game, doesn't get enough press, but Darren Waller coming back. Granted, we saw him against the Chargers, And while effective, he wasn't the Darren Waller we had seen prior to his injury. But, he's had another week to get healthy. And his ability to kind of curtail what Waller is going to be able to do is going to be hugely important in what the Bengals are able to do defensively.
I like it.
Caveman Rick, Buffalo
Hey.
Bill or Bengals,
The Bengals,
X Factor.
Yeah. Joe Burrow's knee. If he gets hit and he gets tweaked and something happens where he can't be his normal self out there, then the Raiders have a better chance. This should be a pretty high-scoring game, probably a shootout, as a matter of fact. And it's going to come down to that knee and how healthy Joe Burrow can stay in the game.
Health is always a big factor. I had Joe Burrow, but let's change it up to the running back in this position, because if they do get that lead, you're going to need to see a big game out of Joe Mixon to continue to hold that lead. So let me go with Joe Mixon. What you got, Barrett?
Again, I'm going outside. You have Jamal Chase. Most of the defense is going to be covering over them. You got Tyler Boyd. I'm going to go T. Higgins. I think T. Higgins has proven in certain games this season that he can be the X factor, not only winning, but being the number one receiver. So I'm going to go with T. Higgins.
Caveman Rick. The Raiders. Who's their X factor?
Raiders. I guess you probably have to say David Carr. He's been pretty consistent this season. And some games that they really needed to win, and he's really needed to step up, whether it's winning in overtime or what have you. He's been actually, been able to keep it together, drive the team down the field when they needed to be. The team's had a lot of adversity, both on and off the field, and he's just been a real good, stable fixture for him. So, David Carr.
All right, so you're going to take a retired player.
Derek, I'm sorry.
No, I'm just messing with you. That's actually mine, too. He's looking for his first playoff win. I think that he's extremely important to the mojo, to the just the
first playoff game, right?
It's his first playoff game.
Right before the playoffs last time.
So, for me, it's got to be Derek Carr. What you got, Barrett?
I'm going to do the week 2 or 3, Dan Waller. If we get the first 4 weeks of Dan Waller, Raiders can go extremely far. If we get the Dan Waller that just came back from injury and looks about 60%, then the Raiders are going to be in trouble. So if Dan Waller is healthy and he's back to the original X Factor at the beginning of the season, the Raiders can do a lot of damage.
I wanted to go that way so bad. What you got, Adam?
For me, for the Raiders, it's got to be Crosby and Ngakoue. If they're able to put pressure on Burrow and kind of interrupt the things that he's trying to get done offensively, it can make a banged up Raiders secondary that much better to be able to cover those guys out there, running those routes. So for me, it's got to be Crosby and Ngakoue.
All right, let's go over to the Patriots. You're listening to 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida. Looking for an X factor for the Patriots.
You guys still there?
Yeah. Can you hear us?
Okay, yeah. You were gone for a second. I'm sorry.
It's all right. Just turn your phone off and mute or something, bro. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. All right, so we're on the Patriots right now, Caveman Rick. Give me an X factor for the Patriots.
Patriots got to be the defense again. I hate to pick a whole group of guys, but they have to contain Josh Allen, and they have to stop that passing attack and his rushing ability. If they can do that, they have a chance. If Josh Allen's just going to be Josh Allen, they're going to lose that game probably pretty easily.
All right. I'm going to go with a member of the defense then, in J.C. Jackson. And the year that he's had to this point, you got to have somebody who can lock down those receivers if y'all get going. That if the Bills do have the weather there for them to be able to pass the ball, but even if it turns into a running game, press up, get up in there.
Yep.
Get in Singletary's mouth. So I'm going to go with J.C. Jackson. What you got, Barrett?
I'm going to go old and simple. Mac Jones. If he is not better than what he's been the last half of the season, the Patriots will be a first-round exit. Everyone knows that they have a good defense. Everyone knows they're going to be running the ball. Buffalo knows that they're going to be running the ball. They're going to try to say, Mac Jones, beat me or don't. So Mac Jones is the X factor.
Yeah, Mac Jones is mine as well in this game for the Patriots. If he's turning the ball over, I mean, the Bills' defense has been kind of lost in the shuffle, but they are the number one scoring defense in the league, and they're consistent. You can beat them with the run, but Mac Jones, if he's able to keep his turnovers down and not turn the ball over, and make a few crucial third down passes, then yeah, they have a really good shot.
Let's go to the Pittsburgh Steelers. My X factor for the Pittsburgh Steelers is going to be Najee Harris, because I don't know how much we can trust Big Ben unless you're Corey or a Steelers fan. But like we said, who knows what's going to happen in these playoffs. But Najee Harris, he's been getting majority of the carries and even receptions for the Steelers this year. One of the 4 rookies who's not a wide receiver who had over 70 receptions this year. Najee Harris, if he can penetrate that Chiefs defense, we could be talking about an upset in all seriousness.
Pretty simple for me. One way to stop Kansas City, stop the offense. TJ Watt.
Oh, yeah.
TJ Watt's my X factor.
That's a great one. K-Man Rick, where you at on that one?
Wow, that's where I was going to go with TJ Watt. I mean, the defense, they have to get to Patrick Mahomes. We saw, in the Super Bowl, for instance, when that offensive line wasn't giving him protection, he was running around for his life. He wasn't the same kind of guy. And he's just a guy that will just, get in there, muck it up for him, and, mess things up for Andy Reid and his offense. All
right, so we got you, Adam.
Yeah,
let's get to it.
For me, for Pittsburgh, it's got to be first half Big Ben. Because you've seen the Steelers all year long in the first half. Their offense is non-existent, and then they get down by 14, 18, even 21 points at some point, and there they are coming back. And they've lost a number of games that way. So if he's able to be what he has been in the second half and the first half of this game, then Pittsburgh keeps it tight, and then who knows what happens in the second half.
Boston Sim, what you got?
No, I was agreeing with that. I liked everything that he said.
Boston Sim with the text saying the jerseys are looking fire. I missed out on the memo, or else we could have all been jerseyed up. Hey, Caveman Rick, do me a favor and stay on the line. We're going to try to knock out our NFC X Factors when we get back, okay?
Right on.
All right, right on. You're listening to the Afternoon Underdogs on 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida. We're going to take a short break. When we get back, NFC X Factors and our picks for the playoffs.
ESPN Northwest Florida. The Dan Patrick Show, weekdays from 9 till 11.
The Giants organization could not be surprised at the reaction that you didn't fire Joe Judge. You can't go, oh my God, they've made some really, really bad mistakes. But yeah, you start to look at this organization. I mean, there are a couple organizations, the Steelers, Giants, Packers, that they got it right.
The Dan Patrick Show, weekdays 9 to 11 on ESPN Northwest Florida.
Mid-South Lumber has new owners. Stop in and visit Ann and Dave. They're on site every day to make you a priority. They're not the typical big box store, and customer service is their #1 priority. Locally owned and operated for over 40 years. Transform your home with James Hardy Siding. Durability, fire resistance, sustainability. James Hardy Color Plus is virtually maintenance-free and comes with a 30-year warranty. Mid-South Lumber, the biggest little lumber yard in Panama City.
Hi, I'm Bobby Likas with another Car Clinic Minute. You know every substance is a liquid, a gas, or a solid. But if the air in your community is more like a solid than a gas, stay tuned. I'll tell you what you can do to help Mother Nature.
The Car Clinic Minute.
It's Bobby Likas Car Clinic, brought to you locally by Hewitt Tire and Auto.
Call 850-769-7323.
Your certified AAA service center and hometown towing.
Visit them online at HewittTire.com.
On Airport Road in Panama City.
That's 850-769-7323. Hewitt Tire and Auto Center and hometown towing.
You can help save Mother Earth. Start by recovering and recycling your car's fluids. 1 quart of used oil can contaminate almost 2 million gallons of water. Here's another tip. No need to warm up your car. Driving moderately for about 10 minutes does the trick while conserving gas and saving the atmosphere from idle exhaust. And don't forget to change your air filter. Dirty filters are a common cause of excessive emissions, reduced gas mileage, and poor performance. So keep Mother Nature happy and leave your children a cleaner world. I'm Bobby Likas. Like us, you'll love us.
Now back to the most dangerous afternoon show on terrestrial radio.
Danger's my middle name.
It's illegal in 5 states. The Afternoon Underdogs, inside the Rib Crib Radio Room. 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
And we're back. You're listening to the Afternoon Underdogs on 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida in the Rib Crib Radio Room. We're going to go ahead and start right off with Caveman Rick. Caveman Rick, your Eagles going up against the Bucks. Give me an X factor for the Buccaneers.
X factor, Buccaneers. I guess you're going to have to say Tom Brady. He's going to have to, perform in the weather. He's going to have to keep that offense rolling. The Eagles are going to try to keep him off the field. They're going to probably try to hit him early, hit him often, put him in the dirt, I'd imagine. And, hey, you know what? If they start off, say the Buccaneers early in the game, start marching down the field, and they're probably inevitably going to score.
You're going to turn the game off.
No.
Yeah.
I would love for somebody to take a shot and just maybe take a penalty, just let them know, like, hey, we're meaning business in this game. We're not playing around,
Barrett, give me an X factor for the Buccaneers.
I mean, they only have the defense to get to Tom Brady. But anyways, it's pretty easy. The X factor for Tampa Bay is going to be Tyler Johnson. He's going to be playing that Chris Godwin role. He's going to be catching a lot of bubble screens. An extremely good blocker in the run game. So Tyler Johnson is going to be the X factor.
See, I'm going to go a different wideout. I think it's going to be Rashad Perriman.
I like him.
Just because he's going to have to fill in a couple different roles. Because if he's not a factor, then you're going to see double teams, on Gronk as well as on Mike Evans. So I think Rashad Perriman could play a big role in this game.
I like him.
Rob's healthy though, right? Gronkowski.
Yeah, Gronk's healthy.
Mm-hmm.
We're pretty much healthy going into this game.
I almost want to go Cameron Brake just to throw
Right.
that wild
In the red
dark
zone
horse
especially.
X factor. But I think if Lenny doesn't get to go, Ronald Jones has already been put out.
Mm-hmm.
If it's a monsoon, why not Keyshawn Vaughn?
Why not Le'Veon?
Fournette is they came out today and said Fournette's
Le'Veon-
expected to play.
Yeah, Lenny's playing. But I feel what you're saying with Vaughn. But Le'Veon these last couple games has kind of taken in that lead role as the starting running back.
That's a fact. All right, so Tom Brady then. Tom Brady.
Just keep it simple.
That'll wrap it up. Let's go over to the Cowboys. Caveman Rick, I know that you love your Cowboys, so give me an X factor for the Cowboys.
Got to be Micah Parsons. He's been their biggest factor, all year long on the defensive side of the ball. If he can make a mark and he can do what he's been doing in this game, they should probably win. If not, the defense, can't do, or play at their best, and he can't contribute along with, guys like Diggs, then it's probably going to be a long day.
Yeah.
Micah Parsons.
I'm gonna stay on the defensive and stay with the linebackers. I'm going with a different linebacker. I'm going Leighton Vander Esch. I think if they are going to stop the run, which San Francisco is going to do a lot of, he is going to be the X factor of the reason why they either win or lose stopping the run game.
For me, it's Dak. It has to be Dak Prescott, because if it's the Dak Prescott that we've seen out there with a fumble and 2 interceptions, that it's going to be a long day for Dallas. But if it's the Dak that we saw against the Washington football team a couple weeks ago, San Francisco better be ready.
That's a great take, because none of the receivers can be X factors without the quarterback getting the ball to him. So I agree with that. I had CD Lamb in, and then it kind of made me question my answer a little bit when you said, no, you're good. But I'm going to switch it over, because I agree that the defense has to be huge in this game. And so if it's not Micah Parsons, who's the other guy on that defense that you can trust to get something done?
Where or Diggs?
I'm going to go a little biased in the field.
Yeah.
Throw a little Bama in there. I'm going to go with Trayvon Diggs. Now let's move over to the Rams. Let's start with Barrett on this one. Barrett.
It's simple. Matthew Stafford plays well, they win. He plays like he has in previous games and previous playoff spots, they lose.
Yep. Adam?
For me, it's Sony Michel, because if you're able to run the ball, then Matthew Stafford doesn't have to reach. He doesn't have to throw an out that is maybe susceptible to being picked off. Sony Michel is going to be huge in this game, I think.
I like him. I like Cam Akers. I think he'll be the lead role for them.
Yeah, I was about to.
There's a little bias there too, right?
Maybe.
There's a little bit, but
he played
going
great in the
into
playoffs last season.
But going into the season, he was supposed to be the lead back, and because I remember that trip once he injured himself, that's why I even ever picked up Darrell Henderson. Caveman Rick, give me an X factor for the LA Rams.
For me, it's Von Miller. We know Aaron Donald's going to be Aaron Donald. That's probably not going to be no question. But if he can actually get rolling himself as well, and that defense can get after it, they're going to be unstoppable. And, the Cards, they're going to have a really good hard time trying to put up points with a lot of pressure getting on Murray. So Von Miller, he's the guy that's going to make it click or not click for the defense.
I got to go Matt Stafford. I love that answer. I changed mine to Aaron Donald. I love the Von Miller, but then I got to bring it back to Stafford because that's who's going to row the boat. That's who's going to get you there, and that's who's going to get all of the praise if they do come away with this win. Quickly, let's get to the Cardinals. Mine's going to be Kyler Murray. Who do you got, Barrett?
J.J. Watt.
Chandler Jones.
Caveman Rick.
Zach Ertz.
Say that again?
Zach Ertz.
Zach Ertz.
I thought he said that hurts.
I thought he said I got hurt. So I'm like,
I'm sorry. I was trying to go fast.
Oh, no, you're good. Let's go over to the 49ers. Stick with Caveman Rick. Give me an X factor for the San Francisco 49ers against the Cowboys.
Jimmy Garoppolo's thumb. If his thumb can stay healthy, he can throw and he can handle the football without dropping it, fumbling, whatever. Jimmy G.
Mitchell, starting running back.
That's where I'm at too. I'm at Elijah Mitchell too.
All right, let's go to the Eagles. Caveman Rick, you're going to go last on this one. We're going to start with Barrett. X factor for the Eagles to possibly topple the Tom Brady's.
Jalen Hurts.
Jalen Hurts.
Dallas Goedert.
Ooh, that's a good one. No, I'll go first. I'm going with Miles Sanders. At first, it was going to be Jordan Howard for me, then learning that Miles Sanders is going to be there. If it is, like I continue to go back to a rainy day in Tampa Bay, they're going to have to run the ball. Need to see something huge from Miles Sanders in this game for them to come away with the win. Caveman Rick, what do you got?
Stealing my thunder, Miles Sanders, I think so. Jalen Hurts, we know he can run. He's going to move the football. If he can stay healthy, Miles Sanders, if he can be productive, if the Eagles' ground game between all the guys actually can put yards up, I would say if we can put up 150 or more on the ground, I think we have a really good shot at winning this football game. Keep Tom Brady off the field.
Hey, Caveman Rick, thanks so much for joining us, man. We'll get into the Titans and Packers X Factors a little bit later. Thanks for joining us today, and we'll be praying for you and Michelle over the weekend, and be praying for you when you're watching that game around 12 o'clock on Sunday.
I won't be praying for you for the game, but everything else, yes.
Miss you guys. Wish I was there. Thanks a lot for all the best wishes. Enjoy the rest of the show, guys. It was fun.
See you, brother.
All right, let's get into it. We've got the number 4 seed Cincinnati versus Las Vegas. First game on tap for Saturday. You can listen to that right here on 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida. Cincinnati is a 5.5-point favorite at the house, and the over/under is set for 48.5 points. But let's just stick with picking the games. Barrett, let's start with you. Who do you like to win this ball game?
Bengals. Joey B shows the old Joey B of the playoffs in college.
Hey, you can fill that bracket out too if you'd like to. Adam, what you got?
Who day, baby, all day long.
Dude, I'm sorry.
Oh,
I'm sorry. I even want the Bengals to win. Why do I want the Bengals to win? Well, really, either way that this matchup goes, a quarterback is getting his first playoff win.
Yes.
Yeah.
A franchise who hasn't won, the rate is 2002 for the Raiders, and when was the last time for the Bengals? About 40 years?
91?
It feels like it's been even longer.
Right, but it's been 91, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, because they weren't even texting
31
around
years.
that.
Right, I know.
So I'm going to go with Las Vegas simply because the game might go to overtime. Who do you trust more in an overtime game?
The Raiders are what, 3-0 in overtime this year?
5. I think they had 5 overtime games. I don't know if they won all 5, but I know their first and last game of the year were absolute. Actually, I take that back. They've won 5 games on last-second kicks or touchdown passes. Okay. So I can't say for sure that they're 5-0 in overtime, but I mean I can think of 3 overtime games.
3.
So I'm going to go with Vegas in this game, but I really am pulling for the Bengals though, to be honest with you. Let's go to Buffalo and New England. Adam, who do you like in that game?
Give me Buffalo. I just think they're too strong.
What you got, Barrett?
Same. Buffalo, Josh Allen. They've got way too much firepower for Bill to stop.
I agree, but if there's weather in this one, if it's that cold wind and stuff, I give the edge to the Belichickians. Give me the Patriots to win this game. We all got Kansas City, or anybody want to take Pittsburgh?
Your friend has enlightened my ways.
Okay, Corey OH.
Corey, this is for you. Table towels, Pittsburgh. Only lose by 14 points. Book it.
They still don't cover the spread.
Right. Was it 13.5 still?
12.5 when I looked earlier today.
Okay.
So you know how these books change. What do you got, Adam?
Yeah, KC all day.
KC, that makes money. So that would be Tennessee and Las Vegas versus... No, actually, if Las Vegas were to win, Tennessee would be playing the Patriots again, and it would be Kansas City and Las Vegas, according to my chart over here. Let's get to the NFC, where we're going to have the... Actually, let's take a short break. We're going to come back with some high school scores, and then we'll finish off our NFC side of the bracket. You're listening to the Afternoon Underdogs on 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida. We will be right back.
My weather forecast overnight, scattered clouds, 45 to 52 across much of the listening area, and light east winds. A 50-60% coverage of showers over the weekend, partly to mostly cloudy Saturday and Sunday. It'll be near 70 Saturday, cooler weather on Sunday, in the mid-50s, rather breezy over the course of the weekend. This weather forecast has been brought to you by Mid-South Lumber, best little lumber yard in Panama City and Youngstown. For 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida, I'm meteorologist Tim Root.
104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
He's been calling you too long to talk about the Dogs. What about it, Red Dog?
Still waiting to wake up from the dream. It was a great game, and I will say this, Bryce Young played a great game. When it was 18-13, I said, here we go again. But they did something in the fourth quarter that was unbelievable. I'm 40 years old, and it's just, wow.
Exclusive home in Northwest Florida for the legendary Paul Feinbaum Show. 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
ESPN Northwest Florida are proud members of the Panama City Beach Chamber. We'd like to welcome the newest members to the Beach Chamber.
Ben E. Keefe, BookPCB.com, Flooring Depot PCB, Kerrigan Marketing Associates Incorporated, King Kong Milk Tea and Smoothie, Reef Board Rentals, Gulf Beach Presbyterian Church, and Panama Flats Resort Apartments.
Congratulations from the area's only sports radio station, ESPN Northwest Florida.
Ben and Deb Collins, owners of Bay Guns and Gear, have been in business since 2010, offering new firearms and accessories with a huge selection available for your hunting needs and personal defense. Turn to Bay Guns and Gear. They have the weapon for you. Discount pricing. And if you can't find what you're looking for, they'll special order it for you. Bay Guns and Gear, across from Grease Pro at 3115 Highway 77. Visit their website, baygunsandgear.com.
Are you thinking about buying or selling real estate in the Panama City area? Think Real Estate is your team of local experts who simply love living and working in Bay County and helping others make their dreams come true through the exchange of homes and properties. We strive to provide excellent customer service in residential, commercial, and investment sales, as well as property management by combining classic customer service with crazy fresh marketing. Visit our website, whenyouthink.com.
He's got a wife, a family, a dog, and many other responsibilities. But for 2 hours a day, he shreds that baggage for what he really loves, sports. Boston Tim is part of the Afternoon Underdogs from the Rib Crib Radio Room, ESPN Northwest Florida.
Final segment of the day right here on 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida. Big shout out to Blab TV for all they do for us over here. You can hear us all over Northwest Florida. Y'all get out and support the Pensacola Ice Flyers tonight. It's Tampa Bay Lightning night tonight, and the Lightning Bug is going to be there. It's going to be a buzz. If you are listening in the Pensacola area or are close enough to get there, go check it out. I promise you. First off, the Pensacola Ice Flyers are a fantastic organization, and they do a lot of great things for their fans, and this is one of those things. Get out there and check it out. How often can you have one of those affiliate-type nights where you're celebrating a championship? If you want to feel like a champion, start to feel like a champion by going to check out the Ice Flyers tonight. Let's get right back into Actually, real quick, let's cover the scores from last night. Boys high school soccer, Arnold takes down Mosley by a large margin, 8-0. Looks like they're ready to repeat as champions, or 8-0, old school. Sorry about that. North Bay Haven and girls high school soccer takes down Bozeman, 6-0. Lincoln over Mariana, 8-0. Arnold, another 8-0 contest over Bay. Close. And then Taylor takes down Franklin, 11-0. Man, and boys high school basketball, Alpha over Wakulla, 75-56. Bethlehem in a nail biter over Poplar Springs, 36-35. We've got North Bay Haven playing some outstanding basketball right now, 60-45 over Bluntstown. Then Bozeman takes down Northside Methodist by 64-22. In girls high school basketball, listen to this. South Walton over Walton. This is not a typo, I don't believe. 67-9.
That was pretty close. It was a nail biter.
That's going to resemble either the Chiefs and the Steelers game or the Bucks and the Eagles game. Forgive me for that, Corey and Caveman. Alpha over McClay, 43-39. Freeport takes down Baker, 60-33. And Navarre, big win for them over Niceville, 56-19. We'll be getting you to Paul Feinbaum after we wrap up our picks. But let's finish up with the NFC. Who is going to win? Let's save that one for last. That's Monday Night Football. Let's save it for last. Let's start with the first game of the day. Easy money here, I do believe myself. Tampa Bay, Philadelphia. We know Caveman Rick would say that it would be the Eagles, and there's no shame in that. Let's start with Adam. Who do you got?
I'm with Caveman Rick. Give me Philly in this one.
Straight up. No spread.
Give me Philly.
Let me clear my ears out. You got a Q-tip I can use real quick?
Yeah.
You just said the Philadelphia Eagles are going to beat the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
I did. I've seen the formula with the Washington football team when they played the Bucs earlier this year.
Okay.
Philly has a much better run game than Washington at the time because Gibson was banged up and McKissick was banged up. So
you're taking a game from week 9 or 10 to use that exact same game plan. That exact same game plan worked for the Saints last year in the playoffs. It worked for Green Bay in the playoffs.
I'm just saying, it's a one-game scenario. Anything can happen. Give me Philly.
Okay. I like it. I'll go next. I've got Tampa Bay, and I've got Tampa Bay by more than 8.5 points.
Yeah, it's probably going to be the biggest blowout of the weekend. Tampa Bay by at least 2 touchdowns.
All right, let's get into another game that'll be happening Sunday. I believe that this one is following the Rams. Yeah, it's because the Chiefs and the Steelers are the main event, Sunday Night Football. So this will be the second game of the day. The Dallas Cowboys hosting the San Francisco 49ers.
Yes.
Let's start with you, Barrett, on this one. Who do you think is going to come away with the dub?
Closest game of the weekend. I feel like San Francisco is going to win 27-24. Game-winning field goal. Time expired.
Robbie Gould.
Big old goal.
He's been there before.
And he has. Again. I've got San Francisco too, man. When it's if you're giving me the San Francisco 49ers with Jimmy G as the quarterback, with or without the web thumb injury, well, it's getting better now, right? I like him better than I like Trey Lance, and I like Jimmy G in a high-pressure situation with a team that can run the ball a lot better than what the Dallas Cowboys can. I like the San Francisco 49ers for the upset here.
He was in the Super Bowl. I mean, he took his team to the Super Bowl, and he was 1 quarter away from beating Patrick Mahomes in the Super Bowl.
Run the daggum ball, and they probably
a couple
win.
Play actions to George Kittle.
Yep.
Give a little screens to Debo. They have a chance.
Adam, who do you like in this contest?
I'm with you guys. Give me the Niners in this one. I think they're just too strong offensively for Dallas to keep up with. And again, Dak was my X factor, but until I can see it in a big game, I'm not going to believe it.
Yeah.
1
and 2 in the playoffs.
Doubt.
1 and 2.
Let's get to our Monday Night Football playoff game, and by the time we get to this game, all of our picks can change, and that'll be okay because it's we have another show Monday to get back to.
Yep.
So let's start off with it though. Rams and the Cardinals. Rams are a 4-point favorite. They're at the house. The over/under set at 49.5 points. Adam, start us off here.
I like the Rams in this one. I think Stafford's going to prove all the naysayers wrong. I like their ability to run the ball, and if DeAndre Hopkins is playing in this game, I think it definitely changes things in this game. But he's not there, so give me Rams in this one.
Okay. I like it.
I'm gonna go with the Cardinals here. one reason that I like the Cardinals is because they're on the road. They haven't been good at all at the house this year, but they've only got, I believe, one loss on the road.
Yeah.
And I like Kyler Murray over Matt Stafford for the mobility reason. I think Stafford's the better overall quarterback, but when you throw in the wheels that Kyler Murray's got, man, let me get that. If DeAndre Hopkins is in that game, which I don't think he's going to be, but if he is, I mean, that just is a whole nother type of
Has he
an X
practiced
factor.
this week at all?
I don't know.
I haven't heard anything about it. Just JJ.
So I'm going Arizona.
Okay, I like it. I'm going to go the Rams, man. I think that place is going to be popping. Monday night, Los Angeles, playoff game. I feel like the Rams and Matthew Stafford, not a Matthew Stafford fan, but he'll get his first playoff win. Not because of Matthew Stafford, because that defense will pick off Kyler Murray at least 3 times. So I feel like the Rams will win it.
So Jalen Ramsey's going to have a big game.
Jalen Ramsey game.
No. Jalen Ramsey, they don't throw the ball enough at Jalen Ramsey for him to get interceptions. It will be Mr. Beardman himself, Eric Weddle, will come back off the retirement list.
You think he's going to get enough snaps to factor in?
I think he is going to start the game.
Wow.
They lost their starting safety.
They're decimated at
they
defensive
lost
back.
2 starting safety, so I feel like Eric Weddle not only will start, will get a couple of interceptions.
Man, all right. So you heard it here first. Our picks are all over the board regardless. So it's still the NFL playoffs, and even if our team gets eliminated, we'll be right back. Well, I know I will be. I'll be glued to the TV next weekend regardless because the Titans are on a bye, baby.
Right.
Tampa didn't make the playoffs for 14 years, and I was watching every single playoff game.
Amen, man. There's nothing like playoff football, is there?
No.
You can say March Madness, you can say NBA playoffs. Nothing is as exciting as the NFL playoffs. To me.
March, and I'm right there with you. March Madness is awesome, but don't tell me that it stays awesome for the whole month. Really, when it gets down to the best games of the year, like the fun of March Madness is already over. It's that first weekend, those first 2 weekends of March Madness.
We always want to see that 16-1
and hey, college football, are you listening? We all want to see the upset.
Right.
You hear? We're upset that we can't see upsets because we're just putting in, 4 teams, and it seems like from the ACC commissioner that we're going to be even further away from this whole thing. But do you hear what we're talking about? Fans live for upsets, regardless if it's happening to their. Well, they don't like it so much when it happens to their team.
But if it happens to someone else's team, it's
love
it. Cinderella, right?
And I love it when it happens to the Gators.
Or to Alabama. You can't tell me that anybody was sad that Alabama lost except for Alabama fans.
Yeah.
Some Tennessee fans would be pretty mad because Georgia
and Florida,
and Tennessee,
and Florida
but
maybe.
I feel what you're saying. There's not going to be many people that'll be like, Alabama didn't win the 7th championship in 11 years. Man, so sad for them. They have it so rough.
It's UCLA. Chip Kelly's getting a 4-year extension with UCLA. He's led the Bruins to their best record since 2018 with an 8-4 record last year. We'll see how that works out. Oregon beat UCLA, who was a top 3 team.
Yeah.
They beat them last night, and they've got another date coming up here very shortly with USC, which I believe is happening this weekend. But we're going to wrap it up. You've been listening to the Afternoon Underdogs for 2 full hours. We're going to be back Monday. Coach James Hale will be back Monday as well at 7 a.m. We'll be here at 4 p.m. Y'all enjoy the playoffs, and make sure you're tuned in at 3 o'clock for the rest of the weekend right here, 104.3 ESPN, Northwest Florida.
Go Bucks!
.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
The Afternoon Underdogs.
When the sun sets on the Emerald Coast, the freaks come out and play. David Hayes.
It's like shooting fish in a barrel.
Old school.
Whoa!